Hi guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to work a little bit in my Pentalic Traveler's Journal. This one is called Midnight Sketch, which is filled with 74-pound black paper. It's got a man-made leather kind of cover, or pleather as you might want to call it, and it's got the elastic band and the ribbon. It has a glued in sewn binding, and anyway, I started out the other day and I was putting my name in there with some jelly roll pen, and I thought, well, I might as well see what I can do with it. So yesterday I just did this in a few minutes. I was just scribbling stuff down really quick, so it's not anything spectacular. The one thing I noticed with the jelly roll is that it can streak a bit on the paper. Now I could probably go back in with my jelly rolls again and let's see here. I think this one, this pink, no, it might be this pink. This is the pink that I was using for these, I believe. Let's see. Yeah. It goes down a little bit darker, but then it lightens, I believe. I believe this is the same color. I can go back over it again if I really wanted to. Actually, if that stays darker, that would be really cool, because that looks cool with the extra color on it. Yeah, I think this is a different pink. Nope, it dried. It dried lighter. But it does streak a bit, so I have to be careful with laying the color down. Like this green, as you can see, it really streaked a lot. These fluorescent colors want to streak. They're very opaque, but if I went over them again, I can lay the color and cover up the streaky areas, and that would work just fine. Like down here, it's very streaky. It's hard, though, to cover up, to layer the pen, because I think what it wants to do is reconstitute the pen that's underneath it. It did help a little bit, though. So that's what I did on that page. This, like I said, was just a quick thing. The other thing I wanted to tell you, though, is if you do have these pens, these gold shadow and silver shadow pens, they lose their color over a while. And now, like I said, I've had those for years. They're probably at least 4 or 5 years old. And I did the stars in those, and they all turned white. All the color just faded right out. And so I went over them with different pens and tried to give them different shades of color. But anyway, so that's what I did there. And I'm just going to quickly zap this because I want to turn the page, and this ink dries so slowly. That should help it a little bit, I think. And so then today I thought, well, what the heck, I'm just going to try some Prismacolor pencils. And this turned out much nicer. I love working with my Prismacolor pencils. And although the value is darker, you could probably lay white down first even, and then go over it with darker value, but I didn't bother. The reds and the oranges really were much darker than the greens, the blues, and the pinks on this. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to go back out here. The reds were a little harder at filling over the black, but I used a lot of different colors. Here are all the colors that I used in doing this. There may be a few colors in there that I didn't use, but like this leaf over here, I went over it. I used these two colors primarily, and then I went over it with this blue, and then to fold the leaf in half, I used this deeper value peacock green. And then for the poppies, I used these two colors primarily, Scarlet Lake and Pale Vermilion, and then I also used some Crimson Red, but I went in again with Poppy Red, of course, and then I also used some Raspberry, And some of them I used some yellowish orange, and then I went in with yellow on the edges. But, and that really helped to brighten the area where the light would be touching it. Now, my light would be coming across from this way, and as you can see, this side of my stems and everything are lighter in value, where the light would be touching it. So I was just going to finish this up real quick. I'm almost done, but there's some work that I wanted to do on my blue delphinium, or whatever that is. And for that one, I was using this color. Let's see, what is this? Imperial Violet, Blue Violet Lake. And then I used some Violet Blue. This violet I did not use. And then I also used some white. And the white I used on the edges. So where the light is coming across, or where it might be hitting it, is where I just happened to go in with a little bit of white right on the edge. I bring this lighter blue in this way. Then I had the Imperial Violet coming in. And then on the darkest areas, I used the Blue Violet, which would be right down in the center area, or wherever there was shadowing. I don't have a picture I'm using. I'm just kind of doing this from memory. Now there I made a mistake. That would be shadowed from above, I would think. So I want to bring this color out a little bit further. The white would only be on this outside edge. And then I'd be bringing this in. That white needs to come in just a little bit here. I need to keep these sharp too. That's another thing with your pencils. Keep a very sharp tip on them so that you can work well. It helps to get into the tooth of the paper a little more, and there's not much tooth on this paper. It is fairly smooth, like Bristol. But I tell you what, I've never really worked with black paper, just a little bit. Those Zentangles I showed you the other day, those were actually just cardboard with white paint or black paint over them. And then I went ahead with the white gel pen. So here I'm just going to add my white in. You can just kind of watch and see how I'm doing this. I'm no expert here. I'm just having fun. So if I'm doing something wrong, forgive me. This is just how I like to work with my pencils. And I hope you all know I don't claim to be an expert in everything. I think we're all in different stages of learning. Somebody the other day called me a know-it-all bitch. And I thought, wow. I don't know what her deal was, but boy, she did not like me at all. I guess my personality clashed with hers, but what you gonna do? I just laughed. That's all I can do anymore. It used to bother me a lot more. It doesn't bother me as much. I mean, it still hurts, but that's the point, right? That's what they're trying to do, is hurt me. So I can't let them get to me. So I hope you all know that I'm not claiming to know every single thing. And many of you, many of you have set me straight on things before that I've said incorrectly, and I appreciate that. Although those of you who have always been nice when you've said something to me. So I appreciate it. Ugh, got another migraine today, dang. What is it with me and migraines? I get them so bad. I went to the University of Michigan Head Pain Institute for years, and I had their doctor stumped too. Now, last night I had some ice cream, and I think ice cream gives me headaches. I don't know if it's the sugar. Sugar gives me headaches. Chocolate gives me headaches. Heat gives me headaches. Breathing gives me headaches. Holy smokes. Oh. I got to see a surgeon this week for my hip, too, and I'm scared to death. Surgeons are part of my PTSD issue, and I can't even go there alone. It's so silly. Being a nurse, you think I'd be fine, but holy smokes, those of you who've suffered with PTSD, I know you get what I'm talking about. You think, logically, you know how things should be, but you just can't make your body do it. It sucks. It really sucks. Whoops, that's wrong too. I gotta darken that. Actually, that needs to be even darker yet. There we go. That one would have white here. It's amazing how that white will go right over the darker value. That's the nice thing about opaque medium, is that you can go over darker colors. I'm new to this black paper. I thought that lighter blue would have been enough, this blue violet lake, but it wasn't quite the right value that I needed. And the white is just making it pop, I think. I really like that. I accidentally had green underneath here. That's why this leaf is a little bit, or that petal is a little bit smaller. I was trying to creep into my green, and it took me a while to get into it, but it worked. If you're interested in this book at all, I will post a link in the description area after I'm done here. Boy, this is mindless. It can just go on and on and on. I think the next time I use red, I'm going to try a little white underneath and see what happens. This is supposed to be light here, and then this is supposed to be dark underneath. Oops, there we are. lost my this. Where that is. And then that needs to be dark under here. Wait, which one was I working on? Oh, my eyes aren't seeing anymore. Oh, right here. This is the one. And that needs to come up a little bit here. Need to bring that white in just a bit so that there's a transition of color there. There we go. Anyway, you get the idea. So up here I did pink for these, and then I put white at the tips just to lighten it even more, where the light may be showing through like translucently on the petals. Then this color would transition from the white, and then from there I went to this color, which is process red. I started with the hot pink, then process red, and then, oh, these are both process red. Where's the other one that I used? Was it this one? Yeah, Dahlia purple. So when I got to the top here, I used some Dahlia purple. And for my underneath petals, these are the ones that are on the opposite side. I have that showing through, and then I have the process red below it, like this. And then I could have a little bit of white at the tips again. So that's pretty much what I did there. Just want to fill in so that you can get rid of that black. Again, if your pencils are getting duller, just sharpen them a little bit and bring that back to a point. But transitioning your color is what helps to liven up your petals. They're not all exactly the same value. These are all in the same color family, but they're different values. And if you don't have certain colors, you can always do something like use a darker color and then add some white to it and just slowly change that color. Like down here, I could use this color and then add white over it to bring the value back up again. So you can do those things too. So instead of using the lighter pink here for this white area, I would use this darker process red and then use my white to just lighten the edges just barely. Just want to give it a tinge of white. A technical term. At least that's how I do it. I want to get a couple different colors. I think I used this color, pumpkin orange, for this spot here. Yeah, this pumpkin orange. But but I want to lighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to use another value, Mineral Orange, which is of the same family, only lighter value, as you can see. And I'm just going to, I hope that wasn't off frame. I'm just going to lighten up the tip here. I'm right on the edge of the paper. And then bring this down. So, I could put another one behind it. How about I try that? I will take one right here and I'll put it behind the poppy. Maybe I'll put it right here. And then I'm going to take this. I'm going to start right here. Again, I'm not looking at a photo, so this could be off. Just coloring the whole thing in, but up at the top, I'm leaving it somewhat pale. And the reason for that is because my darker colors have a harder time showing through the black. So if I lighten it underneath, then when I add the darker color in on top, it'll blend better. On white paper, you wouldn't have to do that. Okay, now go back in with my pink. I'm just hurrying through this here. These are the 3 easiest flowers I know without having to look at a photo, how to draw real quick. So that's why I chose poppies, delphinium, and purple coneflower, which are from the daisy family. Dull again. I'm losing my point. Making a mess here. If you kind of do circles you end up with less issues with the tooth of the paper too. When you color straight, like I did on this area here, you can see I missed many black areas. But if I had circled the color in like this, you tend to fill in more of the tooth of the paper. It takes longer, and I'm impatient, especially today because I don't feel great, so I never feel great. I'm sorry, you guys. It's been a tough winter. Still need something lighter up here. I'm wondering if an orange of some sort. Try this yellowy orange color. This is called Sunburst Yellow, but it is definitely dull. Just using whatever I grabbed here, a dark color. This is violet. You could use black also, but I'm just putting some specks on there to make the little seeds, and I'm going to do the same up here too. It'll come through as a dark brown or a black, but it'll pick up the blue from here, which is nice. So basically that's all I do, and then I need to put a stem on this flower, so I'm just gonna bring this down. I kind of run my hand above where the stem would be so that I can keep my stems lined up. I did all these greens the same colors. I guess technically I've done paintings with these, and the greens are different colors from plant variation to plant variation because they're different in real life. So some plants have a bright green leaf, other plants have a very olive green or reds in their leaves or whatever. So I need to add some leaves onto this, so I'm going to sharpen my pencil again here, which is very dull. This one. This goes behind poppy, so I've got to make sure my leaves go behind the poppy too. Oops, pressed too hard again. That's plenty. Oh. There we go. Now, when I'm all done with that, then what I would do is either burnish it. I haven't tried using alcohol on this paper to see if that would help, but you can burnish with a burnishing pencil. This is a colorless blender by Prismacolor, and that'll help flatten out the tooth of the paper and unify the color a little more, blending it all together and taking those black little specks out. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing, and then I will show you the finished product. So I finished with the colorless blender, and then I realized that I didn't put my darker color on this flower up at the top here. So I'm just adding that on. And then I will be all set. And I'm just going to blend it with the process red so that it's more gradual. You always want to blend the colors together so that you don't have any stark contrasting lines there. And I think I'm pretty much done. So anyway, you get an idea of what your Prismacolor pencils can do with a book like this. This was a lot of fun to do, so just play with it. If you have some black paper, try it out. This might be something you'd like to try, and when I do my architectural sketches, my landscapes in this book, I will come back and I will show you how I've done those. But in the meantime, that was something fun to do in just a few minutes, to just get some color on paper and to play around when you're having trouble trying to figure out what to paint. Some days, just play around in a sketchbook like this, and it might inspire you to come up with another plan for something else. So anyway, everybody have a terrific day, and I will be back next with a painting. So take care, everyone. Remember, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and be kind to each other. Bye-bye.